Stanza 3. Hello, this is a treatise of cosmic fire. My name is Plotso Man. The great wheel turned upon itself. Those 7 lesser wheels rushed into beginning. They revolved like their mother, around, within, and forward. All exists was. The wheel was diverse, and unification was one. As evolved in the great wheel, the inner fire burst forth. Pkabooey! It touched the life wheel first. It circulated. A million fires rose up, and the quality of matter densified, but form was not, and the children of God arose, scanned the depths of the flame, took from the heart the sacred stone of fire, and proceeded to the next. So this is where we've gained like our heart and somewhat sentience. Faster revolved the greater wheel. Blue, white emerged in the flame. The children of God came down. A lesser wheel revolved 7 times the revolution, 7 times the great heat, 7 times that whole Jericho thing. To the heart of inner fire and the sacred stone, the fall of Jericho. There we go. To the heart of the innermost fire and the sacred stone went down. This time the work had better done and the product more perfected. The 7th revolution, the 3rd wheel rendered back the stone, triple the form, rosy and light, 7-fold the eternal principle. This is going based off of the rays, this stanza. So essentially what it means is like with the 7th being like the perfected one, that's when humanity will have hit an enlightenment, and we're only rolling into the 5th age according to the thoughts behind the treatises. And then we also have, controversially, the Mayans who are saying that we're rolling out of the 5th ray. So it just depends really on which mythos, but we all know that every single one is congruent with a great shift happening. Again, this is still just stanza 3. From our greater wheel down to the vault of the heaven came to the light the lesser wheel that counted the 4th. The eternal Ulfs has down, the children of God reached forth down to the innermost point of death, and they flung the sacred stone, the plaudits of Kohans rose, and the work that turned to point and the pit of outer darkness, they gathered forth the stone, translucent now and unalloyed, and color of rose and blue. So again, this is a pure metal of just rose and blue. And the turning of the 5th wheel of its action of the stone rendered it to see more fit, yellow and blending tint, orange and inner fire, till yellow, rose, and blue mingled into other stones. The 4 wheels and the greater work thus upon the stone is still of all the children of God acclaimed and said, quote unquote, the work is done. Stanza 4. In revolution, 5th of the great wheel period set was reached. The lesser wheel responded to that 5th great turn, passed through the cycle, and entered into peace. So again, as we're rolling into the 5th age, we're going to roll into an age of peace. Oh, and this is also written in like the 40s, so when we get near the end chapters, it starts talking about things in the future, like one day we'll have something called computers, and it's hilarious because they're old or dead. Allegedly, the lords of greater 7 plunged a stone within the moving wheel, and the lords of greater 5th and 6th likewise plunged their stones, all at the same time. One started it, then everyone else had to join in. Within the fire, deep in the innermost sphere, was whirled through space the greater wheel. Bearing the lesser 7, the 2 were fused. Whoop! The 4th and 5th, 6th blended, merged, and intermingled. The aeon closed, the work was done. The stars stood still. So this is after the age of when like all of space is done moving around, and they're done saying like, Jupiter's done getting us up on Earth, allegedly. The stars stood still. The eternal ones called to innermost heaven, display the work, draw forth the stones, and lo, the stones were one. Stanza 5. The moment manavratic for which had waited all the triads, the hour marked the solemn point of juncture, arrived with the scope of time, and lo, the work was done. The hour for which the 7 groups perish, each vibrant in the sounding of the word, seeking and adding to the power, had waited for a millennia, passed in a flash of time, and lo, the work was done. Again, a huge buildup, and then it was just like, okay, we're done. The second, this wise insistence, hearing the first sounded forth, knowing that the hour had likewise come, echoed the sound or note quadruple. This 4 reverberation circled the gambit of spheres again and set forth. 3 times the note was sounded, pealing across the heavens. The 3rd intoning came to the answer to the call, vibrant in the key attuned. The eternal primary replied. The blue to the dense one answered and responded to the need. Quivering to the sphere, heard the 3rd take up the note, pealing it forth. A full-tone chord smote on the ears of the watchers of the flame. The lords of flame arose and prepared themselves in the decision hour. The 7 lords of the 7 spheres watched breathless result, and the great lord of sphere and the 4th waited the oncoming. The lower was prepared, the upper was resigned. So the upper was resigned. That's the original Ra going into retirement. The great 5 waited for the point of equidistant merging, so again into one God source, because you have the 4 creator gods and the top number 1 God who is in charge of that sphere, so this planet, which controversially is called El and Elohim in the Christian Bible, although we will see later on in other works it is probably run by Call. Dark grew in the space between the spheres, radiant 2 balls became. The threefold 35, finding distance, flashed like a sheet of intermittent flame, and lo, the work was done. The great five met the 3 and 4. The point of intermediate was achieved. The hour of sacrifice, the sacrifice of flame, arrived for eons, hath endured, and timeless ones entered on the plane, or into time. The watchers began their task, and lo, the work proceeds. You would have thought I would have read this beforehand. Stanza 6. Within the cavern of dark, the fourfold one group for expansion and for further light. And again, when they're like, the light inside, if you don't have it, you're dark. Like, well, yeah, if you don't have light, it's an absence of dark. Just like when, according to the mystic Bible, when the God code spoke and said, let there be light, let there be logos in a world of chaos, that was actually the first like tone that we heard here, even though the entire universe is like being created into existence. It wasn't until the God source actually made a message which was relayed down until it hit our level, and by that time we started writing the Bible. Above the cavern dark shone all the light of day, yet the fourfold one saw not, nor did the light pervade. The rendering of the caverns proceed to the light of day. Great then must be the shattering. No help is found within the cave, nor a hidden light. Amongst the fourfold one lieth in the vault of stone. Beneath them a menace, a root of blackness, and utter denseness. Besides them and naught is the same as seen. And again, this is just a description of the void. The threefold watchers know and see. The fourfold is now ready, and the work of denseness is completed, the vehicle prepared. Soundeth the trump of shattering, blinding the power of incoming flame. The mystic earthquake rocks the cavern, and the burning flames disintegrate the Maya, and lo, the work is done. Gone is the gloom and blackness, rent is the cavern's roof. The light of life shines in, the warm inspires. The Lord on looking sees the work commence, and the fourfold one becomes a 7. The chant of those whose flames all creation. The moment of achievement is obtained. Proceedeth the work anew, creation movement in this way, while waxeth the light within the cavern. Stanza 7. Or V. Rises the cave of beauty rare, of color iridescent. So for everyone that doesn't know, it's that light where it has the rainbow in it, but you can still see through it. And you're like, shineth the walls of azure tint. Azure is a tint of blue. Bathed in the light of rose. Rose obviously being, well, I guess we have multicolored roses, but this would be in like the red pinkish. Standeth with the fivefold one demanding further light. They struggle for expansion. They wrestle towards the day. 5 demands the greater 6th and 7th, and surrounded the beauty meeteth not needed. The inner warmth sufficeth, but it feed not the urge for fire. Lord of flame, look on and chant aloud. The time is come, that time for which we wait. Let the flame become fire, and let the light shine forth. The effort of the flame within the crystal cave becomes even greater, and the cry goes forth for any other age of the flaming souls. And the response comes, the Lord of Flame, the Ancient One, the Almighty Lord of Fire! And the point blue within the hidden diamond, the youth of timeless ions, assisting with the work, and inner burning with light, and the outer waiting of fire, together with wood. Meet with a sphere of crystal, and lo, the work is done. Crystal rends the quivers. 7 times the work proceeds, 7 the efforts made, 7 the applicants of the rod, held by the Lord of Flame, and the lesser touches for the divine assistance, and the final fourth is working done, and the whole cave disrupts. The light is flame within, spreads throughout the rending walls, and mounteth as a source. Another fires emerge, and the point of blue findeth the place of the diamond logic. Stanza 8. The greater 3, each of their 7 lesser wheels in spiral evolution, rotate with their timeless now, and move as one. So again, if we actually look at it, all of this is attesting to is that while yes, there will be a lot of individualities, we must become interdependent, and also that it is not bad to depend on something like a community or a village and merge into quote-unquote one. The sevenfold lords and ladies proceed with the vibration to carry out the work. They sound forth each note of the deep logic chord, each as their greater Lord record do. In the solemn breathing forth, the forms are built, the color is appropriated, and the flame within reveals itself with ever-glowing light. When they say, like, oh, I can see you're like glowing, it's because on the inside you are burning up in the soul. Blue and the green is added, and the completion of the quickest scene. The vibration of the third is added into one. Blue and orange blends, and the otherwise in mixtures will be a stable scheme. To the yellow and red, to the purple, and the ultimate of the vibration is 7 adjusted to the primary. Each of the 7 lords within their scheme, well, lords and ladies within their 7 schemes, adjusted to the second karmic cycle, merge their migrating spheres, and blend their myriad atoms. So again, right here, they're migrating spheres. That would be something that is constantly moving. So either planet, human, or spiritual. They have atoms that are constantly in motion, but they also have some that are just set in place, i.e. the planets. The forms of which they took, the lesser millennium spheres, and caused a separation and curse of the Esseres, shatters when the sound of the sacred word within the point of time. The fire logic surges out, the stream of color melt together, and the forms are left behind. The parabium stand complete, the Lord of the Cosmic Third utters the word unknown, and the sevenfold lesser words form part of the vaster chords. And now becomes the time as that was, the aeon mergeth into space, and the word of motion hath been heard. The word of love succeedeth. The past controlled the form, and now evolves the life. So again, the past evolved the form, and there is now life. So again, everything that happened before with all the rules, regulations, everything they put into place, versus today where we're more inclusive, accepting, and loving as a society. And I know YouTube's going to do its best to prove me wrong, but I have faith. And also, if you're just going to be awful human being, I just won't interact, because I don't have the time for anything that isn't negative or even challenging, but just is insensitive and uneducated. I don't have time for it. The form perfected with the life evolved. My YouTube channel is me reading from a book, and I have one viewer. Do you really think I'm chasing billions? The form perfected with the life evolved holds the third secret of the greater wheel. It is the hidden mystery of the living motion, the mystery lost in the now, but known as the Lord and Lady of Cosmic Will. So again, do you have a destiny? You do. Is it predetermined? No. Are you supposed to do something and then actually be like, immortalized? Yes. Will you be? I don't know. It's your life. Stanza 9. The 30,000 million watchers refused to heed the call. We enter not the forms, they said, until the 7th aeon. And 30,000 million hearkened to the call and took the forms designed. The rebellious ones laughed within themselves and sought prelatic peace until the 7th aeon. But the 7 great lords and ladies called to the greater Kohens with the eternal laws of the cosmic heaven entered into debate. The dictum went forth. The laggards of the highest sphere heard it echo through the scheme. Not till the 7th aeon. Not till the 7th aeon. But at the 14th, 7th will the chance again come around, and the first shall be the last time forgotten for lost of all aeons. The obedient sons of the mind, sons and daughters of mind, connected with the sons and daughters of the heart. The evolution spiraled in this way. The sons and daughters of power stayed in their appropriated place. So the cosmic karma forced their handful to join the children of heart. At the 14th, 7th aeon, and again, I apologize for that binary. There was a bunch of sons that just came up, so I added and daughters, but of course, I mean guys, gals, and my non-binary pals, and I do apologize. I didn't memorize stanza 9, and this is the second time I'm reading this. So as you see, there will be some times that does happen, but other than that, I will have it as children and or they or them. At the 14th, 7th aeon, the children of the mind and heart, absorbed by endless flames, will join the children of the will. In maneratic manifestation, 3 times the wheel will turn. At the center stand, so remember, there's 7 in total. 3 of them are going to be dedicated to this. At the center stands the Buddhas of activity, helped by the lords of love, of the royalty of love, and following the twofold work till it comes to the radiance of power. The Buddhas of creation form in the past have come, and the Buddhas of love are now gathering. The Buddhas of the will and the final turn of the third major wheel will flash into the beginning, and the end will be consummated. Stanza 10. What is this? And then we have introductory remarks. I should have read this before. Stanza 10. The 5th progresses from the remnants of the 4th multiplied and reproduced. The waters rose, all sank and submerged. A sacred remnant in the place appointed emerged at a later date of the zone of safety. The waters dissipated, the solid grounds emerged into certain destined places, and the 5th ore ran over the sacred land, and their 5-fold group developed the lower 5th, and they passed from stage to stage and watched the royalty, recognizing the rupa's form, gave the sign of circulating forth and sped faster on its way. When the lesser 5th of midway passed, all the lesser 4 and the peoples of the lands, the lords of maleficence intent arose. They said, not so shall they go forth, and the forms of rupas in the 3rd and 4th with the corresponding 5th approach too closely to the archetype. The work is far too good. They constructed other forms, you see, and they called for cosmic fire. The 7 deep pits of hell belched forth the animated shades, and incoming 7th reduced the order of all forms, the white, dark, red, and shaded brown. So again, these are the actual, beings into the 7th. So the things of earth we notice have very diametric color scales, leaves are green, but then they'll go red and things like that. So that is what it's saying is, in the reduced order, all forms have within it a purpose. An oak tree and a pine tree do not accept the same amount of waters, although they're both trees. The period of destruction intends far on either hand. The work is sadly marred. The Kohens of the highest plane glazed in silence of the work. The Azuras and Shatans, the sons of are the children of cosmic Eval, and the Rishis of the maleficent constellations gathered to lesser hosts of the Desians of hell and darkened all the space. So that is why space is dark. evil. From the coming of the heaven sent, one piece passed on the earth, the planet staggered and belched forth fire. That makes sense. We had a peaceful time, and then it immediately fell into fire. Part rose, part fell, and form was changed. Millions took other forms or ascended to the appointed place of waiting and tarried till the hour of progress should again sound for them. The early third produced the monsters, great beasts of evil form, so the dinosaurs. They prowled upon the surface of the sphere, so that's when all the land animals started evolving. The waters came and swept away the progenitors of the fluidic spawn, so then basically there's a giant flood, which again in the Mystic Bible is argued that the great flood was just Noah accepting the two animalistic features of himself so that he can survive and keep humanity going, quote unquote, although it is debated whether or not it's the flood of Gilgamesh or if there was just a ton of ancient floods because maybe they were terraforming because they said, hey, Egypt isn't looking like we want it to. Desert! The separating fifth built the rooposphere, concrete forms of thought. They cast them forth. They propelled the lower four, and like the black, and like the maleficent and evil cloud shut out of the light of day, the higher three were hid. And I apologize for that. Again, I've only read this once before, and I'm going to scan it before I start reading it from now on. And I again apologize for that little slip right there. The war upon the planet being waged, both sides descend into hell, and then came the conqueror form. They drew into the sacred fire, purified the Rupa levels, the fire destroyed. And again, this was written in the 1940s, so I am doing a lot of on-the-spot editing and modernizing of these texts. So if something does slip, please let me know in the comments. The fire destroys the lands in the days of lesser six, and also I don't know how to edit it, so this has all been literally just one gigantic cut. When the sixth appeared and the land was changed, the surface of the globe circled through another cycle. Humans of the higher fifth mastered the lower three, and the work was shifted in the plane where the pilgrim stood, and the lesser triangle within the lower Eric egg became the center of cosmic dissidence. Fantastic. I hope we are all learning at a rapid pace with this. I hope you are enjoying it as well as my commentary. If there's anything else you want to know, please feel free to ask questions.